There is sometimes a fine line between luck and a miracle. Do you believe that fate, or perhaps God, steps in from time to help us out? When something extraordinary happens, is it luck or a miracle? I'm going to tell you a story about Lexie the cat, and you can decide for yourself. The October 2017 Northern California wildfires, also known as the Northern California firestorm, were a series of 250 wildfires that started burning across the state of California, beginning in early October. 21 of the wildfires became major fires that burned at least 245,000 acres. The wildfires broke out throughout Napa, Lake, Sonoma, Mendocino, Butte, and Solano counties. These fires included the Tubbs Fire, which grew to become the most destructive wildfire in the history of California. The October 2017 wildfires were the costliest group of fires on record, causing at least $9.4 billion in insured damages. Owing to the extreme conditions, shortly after the fires ignited on October 8th and 9th, they rapidly grew to become extensive, full-scale incidents spanning from 1,000 acres to well over 20,000 acres, each within a single day. By October 14th, the fires had burned more than 210,000 acres and forced 90,000 people to evacuate from their homes. The Northern California fires killed at least 44 people and hospitalized over 185 people, making the week of October 8, 2017, the deadliest week of wildfires in California history. These fires were horrible images on the evening news, but it's still hard to imagine it happening to you. My sister-in-law, Kara, and her partner, George, lived in Sonoma County, California in October 2017. What a beautiful home they had. It was in a wooded, natural setting with a sparkling swimming pool in the backyard, very private with a gated driveway, and a home theater, a modern-day Eden. Kara loves cats, and when a stray cat started hanging around their property, she struck up a friendship. The cat had no collar or name tag, so Kara named her new friend Lexie. Lexie became a regular visitor to their home and soon made her way into the house and the foot of the bed. During the day, she relaxed in the sun by the swimming pool, but at night she always came inside to the safety of the bedroom. But all of that changed on October 8, 2017. It had been a day on the San Francisco Bay, enjoying Fleet Week, watching the Blue Angel flyovers, but soon that day turned into George and Kara's worst nightmare. She had been watching television around midnight and suddenly realized that Lexie had not come in for the night. That's odd, she thought, and she went to look for the cat. When she opened the front door, she saw a terrifying scene. Smoke, ashes, fireballs. A tornado of heat. She raced upstairs to wake George. Within a short amount of time, the fire was coming over the back of the property and racing down towards the house. George went out back with a hose and was spraying the ground and the house. Pointless, of course. It was engulfing the whole neighborhood. Then the power went out. No power, no water, no lights, also no Lexie. Kara ran back into the bedroom in a panic and screamed for George to wake up. George jumped up from the bed in confusion. "Everything's on fire," Kara yelled. "We have to get out of here." Quickly throwing clothes on, they grabbed some valuables and ran to the garage where they loaded as much as they could into one of their cars. They opened the garage door to leave, but realized their plan to escape was dashed when they saw a large burning tree had fallen across their gated driveway, blocking the way to the main road. "We'll have to go on foot," Kara yelled. George said, "Maybe we should just stay here in the swimming pool." Kara replied, "No way, we have to get out of here." "Good decision. A number of people died trying to survive by floating in their swimming pools. The toxins and lack of oxygen proved fatal. They ran down the driveway and found a place where they could crawl over the gate. At the end of the road, they found another terrifying scene. Propane tanks blowing out fire towers, power lines down, trees falling, exploding houses. Hell in real time, Kara thought. No first responders waiting at the main road either. So George and Kara sat down to wait to die. Then they saw their friend John come racing down Rabel Road, and he stopped his car to pick them up. Otherwise, they don't believe that they would have survived that night. He already had 5 cats in his car, and now added George and Kara. And a short way further down the road, there was a couple and their Labrador retriever waving for them to stop. So they stopped, and now they had 5 humans, cats, and a dog somehow crammed into a small compact car. They were driving 2 miles down Mark West Springs Road towards Old Redwood Highway. John took them north to Windsor because by now the fire had jumped 6 lanes of Highway 101 and responders were diverting traffic away from the southbound direction. By now it was 2:30 a.m. and the normally deserted roads were littered with cars and trucks filled with what few belongings people could bring with them at a moment's notice. It was noisy and confused. No one knew exactly what to expect next. Everyone was still in shock. Kara and George got to Windsor, where they called Kara's sister Susie in Cloverdale. Susie's husband Billy came to pick up Kara and George and bring them back to their house in Cloverdale. All Kara and George had were the clothes on their backs and their wallets, and what few items Kara had in her handbag. The next day, George and Billy went back to the house with chainsaws and other tools to see what could possibly be salvaged. Unbelievably, they found George's car intact, and it actually started. While they were checking out the car, they heard a small sound under the car. Dropping to his knees, George looked under the car. Amazingly, it was Lexie. She was alive. George called Kara right away since he knew she was mourning her little feline friend. Then he looked at Lexie more closely and realized she was badly injured. Carefully, George pulled Lexie out from underneath the car. He could see that all 4 of her legs were badly burned. She meowed softly. He carried her to Billy's car and put her on one of their jackets in the back seat. She was very still and closed her eyes. George called Kara again and told her that the cat was badly injured. Kara was very upset and said, "We have to do whatever is needed to help her. If it wasn't for her, we would probably be dead now." While George was driving back to Cloverdale, Kara found a local vet that was treating some of the injured animals. They brought Lexie in, but the vet said she was injured too badly and couldn't be saved. The doctor recommended that they put her down. Kara was horrified. There was no way she was going to do that. She got on the phone and found a larger clinic in Santa Rosa that specialized in urgent care for animals. The clinic was able to see them immediately and they took Lexie over. The doctor at the clinic said that Lexie was badly burned, but he believed they could treat her. So Lexie was admitted to their intensive care unit where she stayed for over a week. Amazingly, Lexie fully recovered. Since that time, Kara and George moved to a condo where they will live until their house is completely rebuilt. And staying with them in the condo is their friend and miracle cat, Lexie. So, what do you believe? Was it a miracle that Kara went to look for Lexie that horrible night, which probably saved her and George's life? And was it a second miracle that Lexie survived? I'll let you decide that for yourself.